Hello YouTube, the Wimpy African here with a mock draft. So I think first pick, 2012 NFL Draft, I think the Colts will select Andrew Luck out of Stanford. Their team, they're rebuilding. Peyton Manning will probably retire after next year. With the second pick in the draft, I think that the Rams will go ahead and pick um, uh, Justin Blackman out of Oklahoma State. He he's a really good big receiver who can make plays downfield. Some people say they remind him of Terrell Owens with better hands, but no, I think he'll be like Calvin Johnson. With the third pick in the draft, I think that the Vikings will go ahead and go take an offensive lineman. I think they might take Matt Kalil, offensive tackle, USC. He's big. That's who I think they're going to take. With the fourth pick in the draft, I think personally that the Browns will select Michael Floyd out of Notre Dame, the 6'3", 224-pound wide receiver. Really would help out the Browns with their Colt McCoy. They don't know about his potential as a franchise quarterback, but the addition of him, I think he'll have him and Greg Little have some serious players to throw to. I think that's who they're going to take. With the fifth pick in the NFL draft, I think that Tampa Bay will end up picking Morris Claiborne, cornerback, LSU. I mean, yeah, I remember when they used to have a really good defense a couple of years ago. But hey, they need a corner like Claiborne. With the sixth pick in the NFL draft, I think that the Redskins will take RG3 out of Baylor, Heisman winner. He, great talent, man, it's gonna fit the movement-based passing game out of Mike Shanahan's playbook. The seventh pick in the draft, I think that the Jaguars will take, what's his name? I think they're gonna take Whitney Mercilus, defensive end, Illinois. I mean, there's a couple of reasons why. Wow. Yeah. The eighth pick in the draft, I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to take Mohamed Sanu, wide receiver, Rutgers, 6'2", 215 pounds. I mean, you have Steve Smith who's getting old and everything. I think that's who they will take. I mean, he had a couple good years this year. He had 115 receptions, 1,206 yards, and 7 touchdowns. His last 2 years before that wasn't that good, but I think that's who they're going to take. They need a wide receiver so they can have Cam Newton thrown to 2 people. With the ninth pick in the draft, I think that the Miami Dolphins are going to take Quinton Coples, North Carolina defensive end. I mean, after dominating the competition at the Senior Bowl, Coples' stock is on the rise as the premier defensive end in 2012. With the 10th pick in the draft, I think that the Bills will select, what's his name? Riley Reef, offensive tackle. Offensive tackle, my bad. From Iowa. Yeah. With the 11th pick in the draft, I think Kansas City will go ahead and go take Jonathan Martin, offensive tackle from Stanford. Yeah. I think with the 12th pick in the draft, the Seahawks will select Courtney Upshaw, linebacker. With the 13th pick in the draft, I think the Arizona Cardinals will select Luke Colucci. My bad, never mind. Crap. Uh, Luke Cucilli. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. Boston College, inside linebacker. With the 14th pick in the draft, I think the Cowboys will select Dre Kirkpatrick. I mean, after watching the Cowboys secondary give up big play after big play, I think they're gonna have to draft a quality cornerback. He has the size, the strength, and the range to contend with explosive wide receivers that rule the NFC. With the 15th pick in the draft, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles will select Devon Still, Penn State defensive tackle. Yeah, they need to. The Eagles typically use high picks on offensive or defensive linemen. With the 16th pick in the draft, I think the Jets will select Zach Brown, North Carolina, outside linebacker. With the 17th pick in the draft, I think that the Bengals will select Alfonso Dennard, cornerback. With the 18th pick in the draft, I think that the San Diego Chargers need to get a good offensive tackle. I think they're going to take Mike Adams out of Ohio State. With the 19th pick in the draft, I think that the Chicago Bears are going to take. I think the Chicago Bears will take Kendall Wright out of Baylor, wide receiver. With the 20th pick in the NFL draft, I think the Tennessee Titans will select tackle Cordy Glenn out of Georgia. With the 21st pick in the NFL draft, I think the Bengals will select Trent Richardson, running back. With the 22nd pick in the NFL draft, I think the Cleveland Browns will select David Wilson, running back, Virginia Tech. With the 23rd pick in the NFL draft, I think the Detroit Lions will select Janoris Jenkins, cornerback, out of Northern Alabama. With the 24th pick in the NFL draft, I think the Steelers will select Mark Barron, Alabama, strong safety. With the 25th pick in the NFL draft, I think the Denver Broncos will select Jarrell Worthy, defensive tackle, Michigan State. With the 26th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans will select Dontari Poe, defensive tackle, Memphis. With the 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New England Patriots will select Michael Brockers, LSU defensive tackle. With the 28th pick in the NFL draft, Green Bay Packers will select Fletcher Cox, Mississippi State defensive tackle. With the 29th pick in the NFL draft, I think the Baltimore Ravens will select Peter Kahns, center, out of Wisconsin. With the 30th pick in the draft, I think the San Francisco 49ers will select LaMichael James, running back, out of Oregon. With the 31st pick in the draft, I think the Giants will beat the Patriots. So the Patriots get the 31st pick in the draft, selecting Andre Branch, defensive end, Clemson. With the 32nd pick in the draft, the Giants select Dont'a Hightower, inside linebacker,